Hello, Pete Moriarty here, coming to you from Vietnam today. I am here for the next couple of months, traveling around as I go around. Welcome to yet another Google Workspace updates. If you're new to the channel, we help small business owners systemize, organize, and scale using Google Workspace and a number of other tech tools. And once a month, I like to catch up and let you know what's new in Google Workspace. This is one of those videos. So I'm going to be covering all the latest updates, what is useful for small business owners. I skip over the trash and I just try and give you the good stuff. And all of this is, of course, available on the Google Workspace Updates blog. So you can head here, read through every single one if you want. But yeah, some of them are a little bit boring and some of them are a little bit minor. I'm going to try and give you the highlights, the ones that I think are interesting. And if you're on the live, please make sure you say hello, drop a comment, let me know where you're watching from. We've got customers all over the world in 30 countries now, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, we are not yet 24 hours. We're 16 hours. Australian and US time zone. We will eventually be 24 hours. But if you're in Europe, I mean, if you don't mind getting up early, our team are there in the afternoons for you. Anyway, so let's go ahead and dive on in. So Google Meet add-ons. Oh, is this showing the right screen? Huh, that was a little bit weird, wasn't it? It showed the background for a second there. Anyway. Okay, so there's an add-ons SDK which has been added now. This basically means that third-party developers can add and create add-ons that are going to insert themselves into Google Meet, which is pretty cool. That means that they've got an example here of Miro, which is a whiteboarding application, RIP Jamboard. Miro, you're able to add into a Google Meet, and I assume it's going to make the screen sharing easier rather than one person sharing their screen. I don't know. But I'm curious to see what third-party apps get integrated into Meet. I often find that we're working on a Google Slides presentation on a Meet together with my team. That's the kind of thing that I'd want to have one button, and I don't know, maybe you can do some fancy stuff in there, like being able to move things around a slide while in the meeting. I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, is there mouse interaction? Can you like control someone's computer through it? We'll see. But yeah, that's a cool one. Expect to see some things happening in the future with third-party developers. Oh, you can even put stuff in the side panel. I wonder if there'd be some kind of like live AI-driven feature. I think AI tools are going to do some interesting stuff here, like have like a live AI helper that's maybe taking notes and like, you know, giving recommendations on the side panel. Obviously, Gemini can take notes right now, and there's other third-party note takers. But yeah, I'd be curious to see what's possible there. All right, cool. Next up, you can now access and sort your shared files more easily in Google Chat. And this is a weird one, but you know, I've got to show you because it's news. Who shares files in chat? It seems like a great idea, and I can understand why Google built this feature. But to me, it just seems a little bit dumb. And the reason I think it seems a little bit dumb is it's all well and good to share a file now via chat, but trying to find that file in a year's time, in 3 years' time, is probably going to turn into a nightmare. So when you're storing files in your business, you really need to have context that is aligned to those files. And if the only context that you have is a direct message with a couple of colleagues, Madison, Janice, and Alan, who knows if they're still even going to be in the company in 3 years' time, I don't think this is workable for a data retrieval in multiple years' time. It might look great now, but I don't know what you'd do with that in a few years' time. So my preference for saving files is, of course, to put them in the right place in Google Drive. And maybe sometimes I would link them, or in very rare cases, attach something like a PDF to a project or task in Asana. Now, Asana is our business task and project management ecosystem. It's an amazing app. We've been promoting it for many years. But like this, if I put data in a task and then, you know, it's 5 years later, I've got to be able to search for it and I've got to be able to find it. And Google Drive is really, hands down, the best place to find things because you can set up a filter. You can say, all right, I know it's within this date and within this date. I know it's this file type and I know it's got roughly one of these keywords. And if you've got a 50-page PDF, Google Drive is going to search into the actual document as well as looking at the title of the document. So it's just a better way of storing things. Google Drive can turn into a bit of a mess. That's a challenge. And we have a product called the Google Drive Blueprint, which helps business owners get their Google Drive sorted, get your permissions set up right, audit your data, help with the cleanup, drag and drop stuff into the right folders. If you're interested in that, click on the link down below and have a chat to our team. Ask them for the Google Drive Blueprint. They'll know what you're talking about. But for the most part, Google Drive, with its limitations, is still going to be better than putting stuff into a chat room. So I'm very against this, but for people who might be using it, I don't know, maybe you've got a use case where this is really useful to share files via chat. Please let me know if that's the case. Maybe you've got contractors and you just want to share a file. Maybe they're frontline workers and you know, they don't sit in front of a computer all day long and drag and drop stuff into the right folder in Drive. Maybe you just need someone to read and respond to something and that's it. Okay, this might be useful for them. So let me know if you're using that. I'm genuinely curious. I don't want to bag you out in the comments. I'm genuinely curious if you think that that's useful. Okay, so next bit of news. Gemini reports now include user-level usage, including app usage insights. Now, this is interesting because, you know, I've spent as much time as possible attempting to use Gemini, and I've said in many videos, I tend to go back to GPT, and we're testing out Claude as well to help us with our content creation, just because Gemini's got some drawbacks, and it's, you know, it's Pepsi compared to Coke. It's number 2 at the moment, or I don't know, Hertz compared to Budget. I don't know who's one and number 2 these days. So I'm curious to see this report. Actually, I saw this bit of news as I was prepping for the live, and I thought I'd love to go and check that out and see what my staff are doing. So let's go and have a look. So I'm going to go into the admin panel, admin.google.com, and there's now a dedicated generative AI menu. So I'm going to go and find my generative AI menu. And while I'm waiting for this to load, I'm going to see if anyone's on the live saying hello in the comments. Not yet. Okay, but that's all right. Please make sure you say hello when you're here. I can see there's people on the live, so don't make my day boring. Please say hello. It's a little bit lonely without anyone else here. Okay, so I'm in my admin panel, and I'm going to go to generative AI, and then you can see here I've now got Gemini reports, and I'm going to go to org level usage, and I'm really curious to see who's using Gemini, because we've got a large business, but we've only got 5 licenses issued for Gemini. We just gave it to a handful of our senior executives who had a purpose to use it. I didn't see the point in rolling it out to everyone. I think it's an expensive premise right now, and especially considering GPT 4.0 has come out, which can do a hell of a lot of things for free. Most of our team are just using that right now. And, you know, there's the data privacy concerns with that. We're just dealing with it. You know, we're hashtag small business, right? We don't have the budget to go and spend, I don't know, $20 a month, I think it is, per person. Is that it? It's a bit obscene still on the pricing. Anyway, but I digress. Let's get into this. Okay, so 100% of licenses are issued, and it appears active. Oh, this will even tell me how many daily active users I've got. So this is pretty interesting. So you can see here immediately that not everyone is using it every day. There's definitely only a maximum of 4 at any one time using it on a particular day. That's probably because I'm not using it all that much. And this is only the last couple of weeks. I can't remember a time when I've used it except for demos in the last couple of weeks. I've got a keyboard shortcut set up for GPT on my computer. It's got a native app. So I tend to be using most of that at the moment. But here's where I am curious. Adoption per app. So you can see here, 60% of the users are using it for docs, 40% for sheets, the rest a little bit lower. It's definitely being used for Meet. I will say I am using it for Meet notes every day, but only to compare it to third-party systems that I'm taking notes on. And I'll probably loop back to that when I cover one of the other articles. And then chat with Gemini. There we go. Well, that one's very low. I've definitely used that in the last month. But those numbers are low. Anyway, but they're the insights. That's what you get now when you go to the insights menu inside Gemini. I wonder if that individual report was very interesting. Let me see if I can drill down to the user level. And let's see if there's anything interesting in there. I'm gonna look at me because I'm sure I've used it once or twice, but not many times in the last few weeks. There we go. Oh, okay. So it's saying that I'm a high user. 16 active days. Okay, that's pretty good. 0 in Gmail. I don't really do email. Hi in Meet. Okay, well that would make sense because I'm using it to record every one of my Gmail. And then 0 chat with Gemini. Yeah, I don't think I've chatted in the last month. There we go. Interesting. Okay, well that gives you an idea of how we're using it. Very high use from one of our engineers. Our CEO Scott, his medium use. Red, senior executive, medium use, and then Cameron is marketing contractor and consultant. That is low. So yeah, interesting stats there. Okay, that's Gemini Insight reports inside my admin panel. Let's look at the next bit of news. All right, what do we got here? So next up, view your most relevant Google Drive folders and files in a single page. So this is not a massive one, but a little one I thought was interesting. In the home screen of Google Drive here, they're now showing suggested folders. So it's going to use its machine learning and automatically show suggested folders here that you might want to get access to. I think that's pretty handy. Thanks, Google. Probably not more to say about that one. We've got weekly recap. Oh, so here's an interesting one. Now, send emails about your files to collaborators when using the sharing dialog. So you can see here, this is when you share a document. You open a document, you hit the share button, you've got a list of people that you've got shared, and you can send an email to them now. I think email is dumb. I hate email. I wish that we could live in a world without email. I'm sure many of us do. I love that customers email us. That's great. Email us, we'll fix your problem, and then we'll we'll charge you money for it, and happy days for everyone involved. But email for internal staff members, I think, is trash. I think it's a terrible idea. If you're emailing your staff, what you're doing is you're telling them that they should be responsive and active in their email all day long, which is going to kill their productivity. Young people have enough brain rot from TikTok. Don't leave them in their email inbox all day long to get brain rot from a million spam emails hitting their inbox every day. Now, yes, if someone's job is dedicated to customer service or customer delivery, great. They can live in email. You can learn some of the secrets to keeping your emails in check by going to the free training section on our website. So head to itgenius.com. There's some training there on getting better with Google Drive and getting better with Gmail specifically. But for anyone else, I would recommend you try and avoid Gmail as much as possible. Just try not to do anything related to email for your internal staff. Try and use something else. Now, the two apps that I recommend people use is, number one, use chat if it's urgent, right? But only if it's really urgent. Chat is the equivalent of walking up to someone's door or cubicle and like knocking on the door and saying, hey, are you free right now? It interrupts people with what they're doing. The second option, and the best option, is to have people use an app. Now, it doesn't matter which app you're using, but ideally it would be Asana or Trello or Monday or ClickUp. Pick your flavor. And that workflow app or business management app or project management or whatever you want to call it, that app should be the place where your communications are happening, where they're non-urgent. Now, we struggle with this. We're not perfect with this because sometimes things that could really go in our project management app, Asana, in a comment, end up going in the chat. And that just naturally happens sometimes. Sometimes you end up in a situation where people are getting into the habit of everything being urgent, and then what happens? Nothing is urgent, right? So that's a problem. But as much as possible, if you can try and use something that's not chat all the time, and definitely stay the hell away from email because you're going to be distracted with all the rest of the emails, you're going to have a better time. So I share this. I don't know why I shared this. I think I just shared this to rant about email. Anyway, I hate email. We're going to move to systems of communication that are better than email, but it's going to be like fax in that it's going to stay away. It's going to stay around for a while. So unfortunately, we're going to be stuck with it. All right, let's move on. I'm getting a bit ranty. Google Meet is gradually improving and modernizing the in-call experience with Material 3 design system. Look at that. They've got new icons and new buttons for Google Meet. I don't know why I included this one. I don't know what I was expecting. I opened it in a tab without looking at it. I don't know what I was expecting with this. I'm sorry. I've failed on my promise. I did say to you that I pick out only the interesting news articles. This is the stuff I usually save you from. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, business data customers will soon have access to shared drives. Now, this is interesting. So basically, the cheap plan in Filipino, we call it barato, which is, I think, probably similar to Spanish as well. But the cheap plan, which is Google Standard, Google Business Standard, or Starter, sorry, it's Google Business Starter, doesn't have shared drives. Now, shared drives are the magical, just give me a picture. No, it doesn't. Shared drives are the magical feature which lets you set up company drives for your business that are controlled by the business. And you can see I've got lots of different drives here, and they all have different sets of permissions of who can do what inside those shared drives. Now, when you share stuff in my drive, you might not be the owner of the files that get placed in these recordings. You might own the folder, but you might not own the files that exist within that folder. And that's a problem because you can have data loss. If someone outside your company owns your files, that's a big no-no. Shared drives are like a shared server. It's like a company server. If you remember the old days when we had servers and we had a G drive or an I drive or an S drive, right? You drag a file in there, and then guess what? You no longer own it. The company now owns it. So these are great for sharing, and these are basically mandatory if you run a business. That's why I've always said to customers, you've got to be on the business standard plan, which is, I think, around 18 Aussie dollars. So what's that? 13, 14 USD. I think they put the price up recently, so it might even be more now. But that middle plan was the one that I said was the absolute minimum for all businesses. But Google have said now, hey, we're going to be nice, and we're going to let business starter customers access shared drives. That's awesome, Google. Great thumbs up. I'm still going to keep recommending Google Business Standard because it includes the ability to record your meetings, which is absolutely critical. But they do have this for the basic teams now. So if you're barato, that means if you're a cheap ass, you can get access to this on the starter plan. Now, there is a caveat. The ability to control access to the items in a shared drive will not be included in the fundamental version of shared drives. Okay, what's that? So interesting. It looks like some of the better permissions won't be available. I'm keen to see what this looks like once it's rolled out. My recommendation is still going to be business standard as the absolute minimum. But hey, if you're on business starter, maybe you've got a huge team and you only need really basic stuff in Google Workspace. We know a couple of companies like that. They're maybe like a VA, virtual assistant agency, and they've got 50 or 100 people, and they just don't see the value in being on the business standard plan. Hey, I totally get it. You might be a candidate for using shared drives without that extra feature. Cool. All right, that's a useful one. Now let's move on to our next one. All right. Gmail Q&A, a new way of searching your inbox with Gemini on Android devices. So inside of your Gmail app, Google are starting to bring the ability to interact with Gemini, which is pretty cool. Now, they've had machine learning tools in the inbox for a while. The auto responses, auto compose, they're all machine learning tools. Gemini, I mean, I know the whole world is calling it AI, but it's really still technically just machine learning. Anyway, you've now got a button here where you can automatically interact with some of your emails. Now, I've been looking for this I've got an Android phone here as like a backup phone. I've been looking for this in my Gmail, and it's not yet arrived in my Gmail. So I don't know when it's actually going to be rolled out. Gradual rollout from August 29. Okay, well, we're nearly 15 days from there, and I still don't see it in mine yet, which is a bit odd, but that's how it goes. Sometimes here in Australia on my account, we seem to get things last because we're, I guess, at the bottom of the world. That makes sense. I've not yet seen it on my iOS device either. So I'd love to know if you've got this in your inbox right now. I'm just going to triple check. It's still not there. No, it's still not there for me. But I'd love to know from you if you've seen this. Is it useful? Yeah, love to know if you're using this. I have used Gemini inside of Google Drive, and I have used Gemini inside of like Gemini itself to query about emails in my inbox and query about Google Drive. And I've spent a lot of time talking about Gemini on the channel over the last few months. I just released an update video with some of my updated thoughts. It's getting better. It's getting better. I'm not yet surprised and excited about it, but let me tell you, Google are putting their energy into it for once, which is great. So well done, Google. Keep working on it. Great to see these coming into all of the apps right across the ecosystem. Okay, so here's another Gemini update. We're getting lots of Gemini updates. Customize Gemini for your specific needs with Gems. So Gems were announced at Google I/O, which was their developers conference earlier in the year, and they announced Gems. Now you can start basically having what we have in ChatGPT as bots or GPTs. Sorry, you can now build your own custom Gems. I haven't played with this yet myself. I would love to know if you're watching this. Have you had a go? Have you tried it out? Maybe we could even have a quick look now. Let's go and have a look at Gemini and see if I can create a gem, because I don't always get access to everything. Here we go, Gem Manager. All right, Brainstormer, coding partner, Brainstormer. Okay. All right. Let me try something here. Give me some fresh ideas for a Google Workspace video for my YouTube channel. All right. Now, if you're wondering how I just did that magic dictation, I used an app called Better Dictation, and it just lives up here in my menu bar. I've kind of lost it. There it is, Better Dictation, and I've just got a key combination to trigger that, and it types for me, which I love. Okay, let's brainstorm some awesome video ideas for your Workspace channel. Tell me a little bit about your channel's focus and aiming for a tutorial. Okay, so this is pretty cool. There we go. So Brainstormer is going to help me out, and they're going to ask me who my target audience is. All right, well let's have a crack at this, shall we? Okay. My channel's focus is educating small and medium-sized business owners and IT leaders on their technology strategy. Our motto is we help business owners systemize, organize, and scale using Google Workspace and other technology tools. All right, what kind of tutorial do I want to do? I want to make a video on the right way to get group-based permissions set up in the admin panel, and then have those group-based permissions be implemented with shared drives so that people can protect their data in their business. I already said who my target audience is. Okay, cool. So let's hit return and see what happens there. Crucial topic for business. Group-based permissions, the key to secure data sharing. Open relatable scenario. Okay, sensitive information was accidentally shared. Step-by-step tutorial. Group-based permissions admin panel. Right. Showing how do you apply them. Okay, cool. All right. Give me some more technical detail on the bullets. Under each bullet, I would like you to include an example of how to implement that using Google Workspace. Let's see how this goes, because this is where I find that GPT tends to fall down, especially when we use it to help us create videos for the channel. All right. Oh, okay. This is looking pretty good. All right. Screen view recording, walking viewers through the process. Navigate to the admin console, create a new group, add users to the group, and emphasize how the centralizes control. Okay, that's pretty good. Right. Okay. Let's really try and test it. Tell me about some of the positives and the benefits of the different group settings in the admin panel. I would like to know the difference between restricted groups and open groups and how they impact the public distribution group that is attached to the Google group. And then try something harder as well. Also, please outline the different Google shared drives, permissions, and the different roles included in shared drives, and how I can use those for business owners to choose different levels of permissions for those people who are being shared files via the groups. Okay, let's try that. See what happens. Because this is going to be the test. Let's see if it's smarter than me. Okay, restricted groups, controlled by administrators. Okay, that looks pretty good. Open groups allow owners to join. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, I would want it to talk a little bit more about who can access and email a group. In a restricted group, only people within the company can send an email to that group. Whereas in an open group, it actually... Oh, here we go. Oh, all right, next paragraph. Restricted groups. Okay, there you go. The audience for any emails sent to the group email address. Only members of the group will receive the email. Open public group. Anyone within your organization can potentially receive emails. Okay, cool. So that's addressing the public thing. It didn't specifically say public, but that makes sense. All right, let's have a look here. viewer, commenter, contributor, content manager, and manager. Okay, and they've changed the name of some of those recently, so that looks pretty good. There we go. All right, I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the brainstormer here. Well done, Google. Well done, Gemini. We may give it a whirl on some of our videos that we're working on. Okay, let's move on to our next bit of news before I spend the next 3 hours writing videos there. Okay, so I think that's about it. We've covered that. Yeah, we've done gems. All right, let's move on to our next one. Google Meet provides consolidated email for all meeting artifacts. Now, this is an interesting one. Currently, Google Meet sends an email for each type of meeting artifact. Ah, okay. So what this is talking about is once you finish a meeting, and let's say you've recorded it, you've made some notes, and you've got a transcription, you get 3 emails, which is annoying. So now they're consolidating them all in one place. That's pretty cool. I've got to say that there's some tools out there that do a much better job of taking taking notes of meetings. And one of those I was going to mention in the next update here. I may as well mention it now. This one here, Take Notes for Me, this feature with Gemini. One of the tools that I've been using is called Fathom. And I've got to say, I really love it. It's fathom.video. We're not a partner. I don't make any money sending you there. But fathom.video takes a video recording of and with that video recording, it also annotates it and it makes notes as well. So with that, what it actually does is it helps you to record the whole meeting, and it gives you timestamps for the meeting as well. Now, I'm not going to open any of these meetings because some of these might have confidential information in them. But the cool thing it does is it actually gives you timestamps of the different things that were said within the meeting. Now, I can hear someone at my apartment door, so I'm going to disappear for about 10 seconds and see if I can't help that person out and then come back. Excuse me one moment. Okay, problem sorted. I think I've got someone who wants to do some maintenance here. But Fathom.video is a great way for you to get better quality notes, because I've got to say, Gemini is all right, but I'm not impressed. And honestly, what Fathom does for free makes Gemini not worth the license cost. And Gemini is up against a pretty tough mountain to climb here. There are so many individual products that are doing a great job for free. GPT does a great job for free. Fathom does a great job for free. What else might use Gemini for? Gemini can summarize an email. Well, you could cut and paste that into GPT and do it for free. Gemini can help you with your spreadsheet. Well, the Insights button in Google Sheets can do some of that stuff for free. So Gemini is kind of like doing worse at a whole number of things at the moment than other specialized apps are doing. And what may happen one day is Gemini gets so good that it's doing on par or maybe even slightly better at most things. And that will be the moment that I roll out Gemini to all of my staff. Hopefully by then the price will have come down as well. We'll see how that happens in that respect. But that's basically my updated take on Gemini. I know everyone is always asking me for questions on it. This is a really, really nice touch, giving you one email at the end of a meeting with everything. I was reminded of Fathom because Fathom already do that with a nice tidy email to all your participants after you finished a meeting. But well done, Google. Thanks for making things a little bit tidier. All right, let's finish up here. Picture-in-picture in Google Meet will open automatically when switching tabs. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I wonder if this is only on Chrome OS, or if this works on other computers. No, it's only available with Google Chrome on a computer. Okay, so I'm assuming this will work on Mac and PC. Automatic picture-in-picture setting. Okay, let's go and switch it on. And I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm curious to see if this is inside my settings. So I'm going to go and create a fresh meeting. And let's see if we can get this setting turned on. Settings. Where was it? What menu was it? Automatic picture-in-picture. Okay, am I seeing the same thing? Camera, microphone. Oh, I see. Oh, this is a Chrome feature. Okay, so I've got to open the Chrome permissions window, and I don't currently see that option. So it's possible this either hasn't been rolled out to me, or starting on, okay, it should be there. I've got the latest version of Chrome. Again, Google, where is my feature? I've got to say, I have a bit of a toxic relationship with Google. I love the software and I love all of everything that they do. But when they say that this is going to be rolled out and it's going to take up to 15 days for this to be a feature available, starting on August 26, and I'm on a rapid release domain, which means that I get the features first. And I don't get it when it's now September 12th, I've got to ask a question. What's going on here, Google? Is it me? Are you gaslighting me with these articles? What's going on? Damn. Anyway, I've got to assume it's because we're in Australia, because there's been many times where Google rolls out a feature and Australia gets it later. It happened with the assistant. I still can't ask the assistant for what's on my calendar today. It still just doesn't work. Some of those features, the consumer features will go to Gmail and then they'll come to Workspace later. We all know that. But if something hits this page and it says it's going to be available on this day, well, it should be available. So at least Google, please give us an asterisk. If you're not going to roll it out to everyone for real, give us a little asterisk that says may come to some geographic locations later. Please just give us something, or someone explain it to me. Explain what's going on. All right, here's our last one. Our smart chip resources can now, are now allowing third parties inside Google Docs. So what are smart chips? Smart chips are where you're working on a document or a sheet. You can do the @ sign, like mentioning someone on Facebook. You do the @ sign and you start typing. And now you can do third-party integrations. Now, until now, you could mention a document, you could mention a staff member, you could mention a user, you could mention, you could see their different assets. I assume they're different, I don't know, maybe they're a different page in the document or something. But Google are opening this up to third-party developers. And this is very, very, very exciting, because what this is going to allow us to do is, for example, create a task in in Asana or Trello or Monday or whatever your flavor is, right from within a Google document. Now, would I do that? No, I try not to run projects out of documents because I think documents are not the best place to run a project. But you might have something. You might have something in here. And imagine if you could, I don't know, mention Google Meet and add a meet. If you could mention Xero.com and add a link to a report or a customer record. If you could mention, I don't know, what else would I mention? I don't know, mention a post on Facebook, for our marketing team. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this. I'm so glad this is being opened up into the development space, because it means that lots of people can add to it. Okay, there is the news. If you want to check out all the news, head to the Google Workspace Updates blog. It's pretty boring. You'd probably be better just to watch my videos every quarter, to be honest, or every month, sorry. I try and do them every month. I've been pretty consistent so far. If you are not yet subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. If you have not yet been to the new free training section on our website, itgenius.com, head along. It's right on the menu. Click the training button. There's free training here. We've put some of our best courses available for free for you. Go and check them out. Some are on teamwork and tech tools that we use for team execution. Some of them are on building a great remote team. If you want to hire in the Philippines, access the amazing talent in the Philippines, head along there. What else we got? Small Business Security Essentials. That's a great webinar that we did on protecting your business. And of course, Admin Basics. This is for anyone who's the designated administrator of your Google Workspace account. If you've got to be responsible for the admin panel, you want to learn how to do the basics there, that course is for you. Go check them out for free. My gift to you. And if you want to say hi in the comments, let me know where you're watching from. I would love that. If you want to get in touch with our team, we have a free consultation available to small and medium business owners. If you want to sign up for our Cloud Concierge program, free consultation is the best way to access our team. We give you unlimited support, unlimited consulting for Google Workspace, and a number of other small business tech tools. So you'd be crazy if you don't jump on Concierge. It's the ultimate subscription for small business owners using Google Workspace. and we've got customers all over the world using that for over 15 years now, which is pretty crazy. It's been a long time. That's why I don't have any hair anymore. All right, see you later, folks. I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you follow, subscribe, do all the good things. Share this with a friend. Share our channel with a friend.